Hello, my name is Johan Falk. I work at Node 1 Scandinavia. It is a good day in Stockholm, sun is shining, and this is episode 26 of the Learn Rules Framework screencast series, where we look at how to use rules in a way that makes your Drupal site building and site maintenance and site whatever easier and a more pleasant experience. This is part of, the screencast series is part of the Drupal Learning Library at node1.se, and we have, as usual, a book that you can check out or give to anyone you think should know more about the Drupal essentials. So, in this screencast, I'm going to talk about Rules Bonus Pack, which is over here. And I'm going to talk about aspects of using rules for presentation altering on your site. Something that is usually associated with modules like the context module that allows you to turn on and off, say, block visibility on your site. That's one of the more common use cases. One other use case that is interesting is controlling active menu items. The context module does that, but as far as I know, last time I looked, it only controlled the active class for menu items, while the module called ManyPosition actually allows you to show that menu item. If you have a menu item tree, then ManyPosition will show that, show children of that menu item that you want, while context will only make it active in the CSS aspect, which will not show any children. We'll see how rules can help you with doing things like that. Okay, rules bonus pack and my sandbox site. Here we go. So I have an example rule that is triggered when content is viewed. Let's actually dive into. No, let's just show how to do some of these things. We need to enable a new module or two here. In the rules section, we have the rules bonus pack stuff. I'm going to enable rules bonus block that allows you to move around blocks on your site, and rules bonus theme. And I'm going to, that will be enough. Yeah, there is a rules bonus think twice module that implements some dubious actions on your site, like enabling modules and disabling modules with rules, which requires bad judgment if you want to use. Can be fun. I wouldn't recommend it on a live site, really. Tea time. Okay, in the rule section I have an example rule triggered when content is viewed. So I'm going to edit this and do some stuff. I could, in my actions here, set block visibility stuff, which is pretty interesting. I have here rules bonus block. Let's place a block somewhere. Let's see how this site looks. We have navigation on the left hand side normally. I can move that to the right hand side. We have navigation here. Select a new region, and we have these divided per theme, so they will only be used if the relevant theme is the one used. Let's put that in sidebar second, and let's give it a weight 0. It's okay. Save. Now if I view a node here, I will get the navigation block on the right hand side. You can do that to enable block, to disable block and stuff, just like you do with context, but this is a bit more flexible because you can move existing blocks as well, and so. Cool. What else can you do? We have some more actions for setting titles and stuff. Let's see here. Rules bonus theme. We have set body classes. I won't show you that because I don't really know any good classes I can add right now. But if you're a themer, you probably know that you sometimes need body classes if you're in a particular section. Say if a node that you view has a particular taxonomy term on it or something, or if there's a particular writer or whatever. Since this is rules, you can configure any kind of conditions you want. That is possible in rules, and that's very good. Rules. The point of No, I'm going to come back to that later. I'm not going to talk about the big questions right now. I'm just going to show you some action stuff. Set head title. That's the title shown up here. This is a custom title for node title. I have replacement patterns here, so I can use that when configuring rules, as we've seen in previous screencasts. All right. If I reload here, I should get a new title up here. This is custom title for, and then the title up here. I even removed the site name up here. That wasn't really my intention, but it seems that works. That works as well. All right. What else do we have when it comes to action? We can change the actual title on the site, I think. Well, on the page. Rules bonus miscellaneous set page title. Node title. Well, all you need to know about node title. Save. Now this should change the title here. That would be interesting. It's Pontus, my colleague, has worked with these actions. I haven't used all of them very much, but as you can see, this just works fine, and that's very nice. Yeah, let's also show this set active menu item thing. To do that, I need two things. I'm going to place a block. I'm going to enable the administration, this management menu, put that in the sidebar. So I'm going to change this, show you the management menu in the sidebar second. Great. This is a huge menu, and that's good because I can show you that some menu item inside it is enabled now. Okay, so I have management here. The navigation went back here. We have administration here, but I could, for example, have the configuration part of this expanded when I view this node. So let's try that. In order to do that, I need a new module. The action for enabling a menu item or set a menu item active depends on this ManyPosition module. The functionality is still inside ManyPosition, but it's called from rules and wrapped in an action. So let's find ManyPosition here. Enable. When I've shown you this as well, I'm gonna discuss the bigger questions about why or why not you want to do this with the rules. So now add an action. This action is a bit unreliable, the menu item thing. It depends on caching stuff, and I'm not really sure how and when the caching is done, and so it's kind of tricky. Set the active menu item. I can set the menu item to, say, menus here. That's nested quite deeply within the structure here, but there are sub choices as well. So these should now appear when I view a node. I think I will need to clear cache, but we'll see. If I just reload here. No, it works. Okay. So now menu is the active menu item, and I see the sub choices here. All being the work of ManyPosition, but implemented through the rules. Alright, so these are things you can do right away with Rules Bonus Pack, and now the question is, why do you want to do this or why do you not want to do this? And the big thing why you don't want to do this is that you kick in the rules framework on every page load. Well, on many page loads, in this case when you view a node. Which means that you load some extra 20 megabytes or so PHP memory, which is kind of heavy. The loading time, I've done some basic comparison. The loading times are more or less identical to that of context, but it takes like 2.5 more megabytes of PHP memory to load the rule stuff. That is probably because of the pretty big rules cache that is being loaded. Yeah. So if you do this, you should be aware of PHP memory stuff, and that is the drawback of using rules for these kind of things. There are some, well, you see this event content is viewed. we have also here the page manager stuff I did in the previous screencast. This is much less dangerous to use because this is called on one particular page only. So that means that you can set some blocks active or disabled or something on that particular page, and it won't affect other pages, and that's good. Because having extra PHP memory consumption on individual pages is usually no problems, but having them on all page loads might be heavy. It might be good to know that there are some other cool events that you might be interested in using. We have this content is being viewed that brings you a node object that you can use to run conditions and actions. There is the Drupal is initializing event that runs on hook init. That will be then used on all page loads on your site, which is good in some cases when you want to change something, like if it's a Monday, you should display this block on the right hand side, or you should load the Monday CSS class into your page body or whatever. But usually you're interested in getting some contextual information from, for example, a node that you're viewing. I think, yeah, you have similar things here. A user account page is viewed. Brings you the user object, which you can then use to run conditions and actions on. And that brings me to the point of why it's good to use rules for these kinds of things, because rules gives you a framework for dealing with the data that you need. For example, in context, you have separate events, triggering events and conditions and actions and stuff that don't really know about each other. So you can add an action to any event in context, or any, so like this. All events in context are the same things as the conditions. The conditions are really tightly coupled to the events. So you can have an event in context being a node is being viewed, and then you can check for things like, does this node have a particular taxonomy term, or is it of a particular type? But then the user is going to be viewed does not know about the same kind of conditions. You cannot check, for example, when the user was, in the node example, you cannot check for user properties for the node author, which is perfectly possible in rules because all the data about the node is available, and then it's generalized, so you can run all conditions on all the data that is available from that kind of event. I feel I'm making this more difficult than it should be, but the thing is that rules has a nice framework for dealing with the data, the metadata for objects provided by events or provided by actions, provided by conditions, which makes it really easy to do. In context, you need to custom code every kind of condition for every kind of event, which is a mess sometimes. Same thing goes with the ManyPosition. You have like a plugin system for ManyPosition as well, where you can write conditions that works with ManyPosition only. If you, on the other hand, use ManyPosition from rules, you can reuse all the conditions and actions and stuff inside rules that are available there. So there is a pretty long issue in the ManyPosition issue queue that it says, oh, we really need a way to check for taxonomy terms on a node that we're viewing to set the active menu item. And this is perfectly possible in rules right now, but to do that with ManyPosition without rules, you need to code a custom plugin for that. And then it works with ManyPosition but no other modules. And that is kind of wasting your work, I think. Right. Some final words. Good stuff with rules is that you can reuse a framework, and you get a lot of things for free with rules. The bad things are that you get a bit more PHP memory, well, 2.5 megabytes. I don't think that's very small, but loading times are basically the same. And a drawback with rules is, I know, that is more complex to use. Context and ManyPosition are pretty simple tools to use because of, it's more or less single-purpose modules. while rules tries to encompass quite a bit of different use cases. That gives you a complex user interface that could, well, I guess, be improved without actually needing, well, yeah, it could be better, could be easier to use. But I think it makes sense to try to make, say, the context module or the ManyPosition module implement a different user interface for rules. Just use the same framework, but have a neater user interface that exposes only the options that are relevant for these kinds of modules. Yeah, long story. These are things you can do with rules and for altering presentations on your site. I hope you find it useful. Next screencasts will be exercises showing you what you can do with the rules and how it can be useful. I hope you had a good time so far. I guess these are the last real screencasts in this series. From now on it will be exercises, and then I guess we're done. See you in another screencast series and at another day. Goodbye.